you think people should, like, feel sorry for them? Like, would you feel sorry? Do you feel sorry for these people?
I feel sorry in a sense that I think they're missing out on so much in life, not being able to feel love, not being able to feel emotions, not being able to connect with someone on a soul level, you know. I feel sorry for them in that sense. You know, like, I feel sorry for my father and I feel sorry for my ex. I forgive them in a basic sense. Do I want them in my life? Absolutely not, because it's unhealthy, and I have to, you know, I have to protect myself and my family and cut boundaries and ties, you know. But yeah, in a way, I do feel sorry for them because it's such a shallow existence. You know, all the amazing things that we can have in this life, like, they don't get to experience that. They just experience cheap thrills and manipulation and games, and, like, that's what they live for, is controlling. And I can't imagine a life like that. So, yeah, a part of me really does kind of feel sorry for and look down upon the way that they live their life, you know. But I do hope people are responsible for their choices. And, you know, that's kind of just how they exist. And, you know, I wish that they didn't learn that behavior. I wish that their parent or whoever they learned this from wasn't a sociopath, or that their brain wasn't wired a certain way if they were born that way, you know. But it's hard, and so you can't really let that guilt and empathy get in the way of making the decision to remove them from your life. And, you know, sometimes if they're a family member, it's really hard. Sometimes other family members won't let you cut ties with that person. And so the best thing you can do is just keep your guard up and protect yourself. Don't give the sociopath or narcissist any ammo by talking to them, by opening up to them, by staying, you know, in close contact with them. Keep it as civil and surface level as possible, and, like, don't let them into your life any more than you have to.
You know, that means delete them from Instagram, delete them from Twitter, Facebook. You got social media, all of that. You eat, like, you know, don't email them, no texting. Like, no contact means zero contact. If you got to change the way you hang out, if you live in a small town with 1,300 people and everybody hangs out at the same place, stay home on a Friday night if you have to, at least until you fully get over this person and it doesn't matter anymore. It's for your own good. It's definitely for your own good, because if you continue to communicate with this person, even as much as a tweet, an inbox, anything, you're getting sucked right back in. Very charismatic, very charming, very manipulative. It would definitely be in your best interest to no contact, practice that. I promise you, Google it, educate yourself. I can't stress it enough. We're really trying to help as many people as we can and spread awareness. Samantha, we will get ready to let you go, but I got like 2 more questions for you that I have to ask you.
That's fine.
One is, this is big right here. It's real big. What is the likelihood of a cluster B person, sociopath, narcissist, passing that on to their children? Basically, their children, their offspring, becoming affected by their behavior and possibly becoming one of these type people when they grow up.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty common. You know, in situations where there's 2 or 3 kids, you'll see it kind of manifest itself in different ways. One of the kids will be typically an empath who is trying to be a people pleaser and wants to people please their parent, the sociopath. So you're going to get that type of person. You're also going to get another child that's kind of the golden child and not the scapegoat, but like the one that the sociopath narcissistic parent kind of idolizes. And that's going to be the child that typically demonstrates sociopathic behavior or narcissism. And, you know, they're almost never wrong. And the sociopathic parent might even team up with the golden child to pick on the scapegoat and to bully them and to get things to happen. Sometimes even that parent will have the golden child even be abusive, even physically abusive towards the scapegoated child or the, you know, people pleaser, the empath. So you'll see it sometimes happen. It is pretty common. You know, I'm trying to think of percentages here. Honestly, most of the cases that I've seen, I would say, probably 60 to 70%, if not more, of the cases of sociopaths are actually environmental, meaning it's a learned behavior. So say their mom was a sociopath, well, then they became a sociopath, and they kind of pass it on. And that's why it's so important to break those patterns. take time to really look at your family patterns and what you consider normal, and really be introspective and reflect on yourself and your family upbringing, I guess. And then the other times, I would say, 30 to 40% or whatever, is just kind of how they seem to be wired. It's extremely, extremely rare, but sometimes a person can become a sociopath. But that is so rare, and it happens when there's, like, extreme trauma. So say they were overseas and they were a prisoner of war for, like, 10 years and subjected to really horrific things. You can have an emotional, psychological snap, go into psychosis or whatever, and you can become a sociopath in that way. But typically that's something that can be worked through with counseling. But most often than not, it's parents that really pass this on to their kids. They teach their kids what's acceptable and what to look for. And unfortunately, with my father being a sociopath, that taught me to look for similar traits in my boyfriend. And so then you see these patterns over and over again. Why do I keep attracting the same type of guys? What is it? And it's really because we allow ourselves to accept that behavior because that's considered normal. Yep.